In the shadows where legends are born and forgotten, there exists a figure who bends the world without even trying. A mastermind, a myth, a menace. Today we unravel the story of Cid Kagenou, the boy who dreamed of darkness and accidentally became the very embodiment of it. This isn't your average hero's journey. This is a tale of delusion turned destiny, and a character who walks the fine line between brilliance and madness. Welcome to the life of Cid Kagenou, the shadow who laughs.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
Cid Kagenou wasn't born into power, prestige, or prophecy. On Earth, he was just another high school student, plain, unnoticed, and painfully ordinary. But Cid's mind was anything but average. While others aspired to be heroes or celebrities, Cid was fascinated by the shadows. He fantasized about becoming the unseen puppeteer, the man behind the curtain, the one who operates from the darkness, to influence the light. From a young age, he trained himself obsessively. Martial arts, body conditioning, mental discipline, even learning to withstand pain and survive in isolation.
Now, madness. Madness and stupidity.
But reality was cruel. No matter how much he prepared, he could never surpass the limits of a human body in a world without magic. Then, like many before him in the world of Isekai, his end came not from a grand battle or a noble sacrifice, but from the cold front bumper of a speeding truck. Cid died with unfulfilled dreams, but fate, or perhaps something more chaotic, gave him a second chance. Cid is reborn into the magical realm as the second son of the noble Kageno family. Here, swords clash, monsters roam, and magic flows through the veins of the gifted. But instead of reveling in his newfound powers, Cid immediately resumes his lifelong ambition, becoming the ultimate background mastermind. He plays the part of a weakling, pretending to be average while secretly training harder than anyone. But there's a twist. He now has access to mana. The limitations of his old world are gone, and this time, he pushes his body and mind to their absolute peak. He learns to control magic with terrifying precision, fights bandits in secret, and experiments with his abilities in silence, all while keeping up the facade of an unremarkable noble son. It's this duality, the hidden strength behind a facade of weakness, that defines Cid's journey. But the real turning point comes not from what he does, but from what he says. In one of his many role-play sessions, Cid encounters a girl infected by a demonic curse. Using experimental magic, he saves her. When she awakens, he invents a grand tale about an evil cult known as Diabolos, and positions himself as the leader of a secret organization fighting in the shadows. To him, it's all just part of the game, a story to make himself seem cool. But what he doesn't realize, what he never realizes, is that every piece of his fabricated narrative is horrifyingly real. The cult of Diabolos exists, the cursed bloodline exists, and the girl he saves. She becomes Alpha, the first of the 7 shadows. Thus, Shadow Garden is born, an elite organization formed from the cursed, the outcasts, and the broken, all of whom are saved and trained under Cid's guidance.
ああ、呪いというのは君たち英雄の子孫にかけられた忌まわしき呪いだ。それが君を腐った肉塊へと変えたものの正体だ。その黒幕の正体はディアボロス教団。我が使命はその野望を陰ながら阻止すること。そう、我が名はスタイリいや、我が名はシャドウ。
シャドウ。
我と共に歩む覚悟はあるか。
醜く腐り落ちるしかなかった私を救ってくれたのはあなたです。あなたがそれを望むなら、私はこの命を懸けましょう。
そして君はアルファと名乗る。
They revere him as a genius, a savior, a messiah. But to Cid, it's still just a LARP. He's playing a part. What he thinks is fantasy becomes prophecy. What he calls fiction becomes fate. With a Shadow Garden at his back, Cid, now known as Shadow, launches into action. He dismantles underground cults, uncovers conspiracies, and topples kingdoms, all while staying in character. His monologues are theatrical, his timing impeccable, and his entrances so perfect they feel scripted by a god of cinema. Take the Royal Ball incident, where he casually crashes an execution. defeats dozens of enemies in seconds, and walks away while quoting edgy lines like a villain out of a teenage fanfic. It should be cringe, but it's not, because somehow Cid owns the absurdity. He leans so hard into the role that it loops back around to being iconic. His enemies fear him, his allies worship him, and the audience, we can't stop watching. Through it all, Cid remains blissfully unaware that his actions have genuine world-shaking consequences. Every nation he destabilizes, every tyrant he defeats, every secret he reveals, he chalks it up to luck or coincidence. But the world knows the truth. Shadow is not just a myth, he's a force of nature. At the heart of Cid's journey is his relationship with the 7 shadows: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, and Eta. Each one a powerhouse in her own right, each one saved by Cid's intervention. They build an empire in the shadows, establish businesses, spy networks, military forces, all in the name of their leader. To them, Shadow is a godlike figure. But what makes their relationship so fascinating is that Cid doesn't realize any of it. He thinks they're just playing along with his fantasy. The comedy and tragedy of it all is that his delusion is their truth. Then there's the cult of Diabolos, a real, terrifying threat that spans centuries. From twisted experiments to world domination, the cult is a monster hiding in plain sight. They are cunning, powerful, and deeply rooted in every major institution, and Shadow is their greatest enemy. The war between Shadow Garden and the cult isn't just about power, it's about ideology. It's about vengeance, freedom, and control. And at the center of it all stands a man who doesn't even believe the war is real. Dice. Cid Kagenou is one of the most unique protagonists in anime. He defies the archetypes. He's not driven by revenge, justice, love, or destiny. He's driven by aesthetic. He wants to look cool, that's it. But beneath the comedy and delusion lies a complex character. Cid is brilliant. His strategies work. His power is unmatched. His charisma accidentally inspires nations. But he hides it all behind layers of irony and detachment. Is it denial? Is it insecurity? Or is it a defense mechanism to cope with a world he doesn't fully understand? The deeper you look, the more it feels like Cid knows. Maybe not consciously, but deep down, part of him understands the weight of his actions. And yet, he clings to the fantasy, because it's safer, because it's fun, because it's who he's always wanted to be. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes him so dangerous. Kageno is a contradiction, a joke and a genius, a child playing pretend and a man reshaping the world. His story isn't about power, he already has that. It's about perception, about the blurry line between fantasy and reality, in a genre overflowing. With Chosen One, Cid is different. He chose himself, not because he was destined, but because he wanted to be something more. And in doing so, he became exactly what he dreamed of, the Eminence in Shadow. So the next time you watch him walk into a battlefield with a smirk and a monologue, remember this: he may not believe in the world he's saving, but the world believes in him, and perhaps that's enough. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cid Kagenou's chaotic genius, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your favorite Shadow Garden moment in the comments. Until next time, stay unseen, stay unstoppable, and embrace the shadows.